more visible than the smaller ones, and they want to take part more in coalition, and they want to kind of head most of the actions. And smaller civil society organizations sometimes they are reluctant to be in that environment. So that's an issue of being in a network. So it's not that easy. Well, in taking into consideration all the context of the coalition, where different organizations take part. Let's say in Croatia, some organizations are quite well known at national level, with very good public campaigns, but some local organizations who deal also in similar issues in some parts of outside the center of, let's say, capital, and which their voice is not very heard. They have they have difficulties on how to reach that place when their voice is heard, and to take part in coalitions with others as well. So direct lobbying is participation within open meetings organized by public officials when CSOs take part, participation in public hearings, letters to elected officials, organization and writing of formal petitions, use of the internet and the other common communications tool to share one's views with decision makers, and personal visit to the offices of the elected officials. So it's more direct. Direct engagement of the mass media, use of the internet to engage the general public, writing letters to local and national newspapers, phone calls to local radio stations broadcasting live, appearance on talk shows, on TV programs. So as it can be seen, we can already see that there are quite different ways. So on the second part, indirectly, we don't communicate with government at all. So we still do lobbying in grassroots level. We communicate with constituency in terms of media and all means of lobbying in order to influence the government, but indirectly. So one of the ways, but we will discuss it, those mechanisms can be integrated. So it can be used grassroots level also, but direct level. So in order, we will see how it will be the best approach. It depends on the local level, central level, with whom you work and what issue. So we are not discussing all the approaches because they are so different. We will try to give you some tools at least to measure somehow and to channel our approach. So we are not discussing the whole context of it because it's a complex issue. So every country has its own environment where CSOs are doing the campaign. Organization of and writing of formal petitions. So very important tool in a lobbying campaign. To create the biggest impact, a well-known organization should be selected to organize the petition. Well, it was taken this because of the whole resources, and sometimes let's be honest about it. The organization who have more resources could do a little bit more in terms of logistics, organization, experience, and all that. So that could be a strategic way of doing the petition, easier than smaller organizations. Circulate the petition around your community to gather large numbers of signatures. Some very effective locations for collecting signatures are near the entrances to shopping centers, subway station, busy street corners, etc. So there are some very efficient ways that we could reach public more. So in public areas where they are more buying, shopping, so places that they leave the house. Otherwise, if you go to each house, it will take forever. But don't expect too much unless the petition is signed by thousands of individuals or by a few individuals with great public respect. So we are having we have here a specific article in relation to this, and with Montenegro. So maybe we could read this as well in relation to this. Citizens and individuals, but not directly civil society organizations in Montenegro, are entitled to propose a referendum or initiative, legal amendment, for example, or a law, regulation, and or general act at both national and local level. In theory, these mechanisms are tools for practicing direct democracy. However, in order for them to succeed, the new constitution should be studied carefully. It states that a referendum requires the support of 10% of the national electorate, while at the local level it must be in accordance with the municipality statute. See case study 35. So, in relation to this, for details on a successful local referendum and procedure in Herzegovina, related to the construction of Ceman silos in Zelenica, maybe you know from, yeah. Meanwhile, the right to propose laws, regulations, or general legal acts belongs to the government, a member of parliament, and or a petition signed by at least 6,000 voters and delivered through a registered MP, member of parliament. To achieve this, one should, first, refer to a particular article of the law over which official compliance or amendment is being called for. Second, express your request precisely, indicating the reason for it and its objectives, the desired end result. And third, state the implication on society of no response action. And fourth, refer to financial consequences of the proposed legislation. So from this context, we can see that, let's say, at national level, also at local level, each country has its own specifics. So by seeing the law, let's say a specific number of people need to write a formal petition in order to be considered. So whether you're communicating via email, conventional mail, telephone, or in person, more important is what is said, who says it, and how it is said. Volume does not mean effectiveness. One personal, well-argued email sent to the decision-maker address is more effective than 1,000 identical emails that will most likely to be treated as spam. The real strength of a tool like the internet is for your own research and network development. So at this stage, it's more useful in sharing information between each other than, well, sometimes governmental officials are quite not very efficient in, or maybe ignorant towards some emails that come. So as well, it's a better tool for communicating between members and also people who are interested in order to raise this, let's say, a petition. And further down, we go to personal visits to elected official officers, participation with open public meetings organized by public officials. And we have a case study, number 6, online petition in cyberspace. So Avaz, if you heard about this, is European. The Climate Change Action Group used the internet to strengthen a campaign initiative. In March 2007, Avaz delivered a petition with 100,000 signatures to environment ministers of the world's more polluting countries. So now we are going to international level as well. The group claims that its efforts were instrumental in securing a pledge from Germany's environment minister and German Chancellor Angela Merkel to place climate change at the top of the agenda for the G8 Leaders Summit in June 2007, a pledge that was upheld. So one way of, so how internet can play a role, like involving people from all the countries of the world. So, yes. it has an effect of the German officials, let's say, of the German Chancellor, which involved this part in the agenda of G8 meeting. Representatives of the Institute for Public Health, Tuzla. So I'm just not the first part. Professors from the University of Tuzla, representatives of the OSCE and other NGOs to discuss a possible campaign concerning the above topic. They quickly agreed upon the campaign goal, formed a task force, attended a training workshop on advocacy, and within a month had sent their first letter to the Ministry of Physical Planning and Environmental Protection in Tuzla Canton, the ministry responsible for air quality monitoring. In their letter, they requested the ministry's cooperation in improving air quality reporting. 2 days later, the task force had its first meeting with Jadranka Mirasic, the minister, during which time she had introduced to the campaign's goals and the coalition concerns. The first official communication with the highest level decision maker did not, however, generate concrete results. The coalition concerns went unanswered. Over the next 2 months, 3 letters were sent to the cantonal ministry. During this period of intensive direct lobbying, the university professors requested a channel of communication to be opened with lower-ranked ministry officials, those persons familiar with the issues at hand. Meanwhile, the coalition task force met several times so as to effectively implement a parallel public campaign at the same time. Thus, the media, radio, TV, and newspaper were involved while a street survey of Tuzla citizens was carried out. So as you can see,